Hello and welcome to the BA Knowledge Share. In this episode, we talk about the Requirements Analysis and Design task, which is task 7.1. So without further ado, let's get started. Now, this task is about specifying and modeling requirements. The purpose behind this task is to analyze, synthesize, and refine elicitation results into requirements and designs. Now, specify and model requirements describes the practices for analyzing elicitation results and creating representations of those results. When the focus of the specifying and modeling activity is on understanding the need, the outputs are referred to as requirements. When the focus on the specifying and modeling activity is on a solution, the outputs are referred to as designs. Important in many IT environments, the word design is used specifically for technical designs created by software developers, data architects, and other implementation subject matter experts. All business deliverables are referred to as requirements. Now, the elements of this task are: one is model requirements. A model is a descriptive and visual way to convey information to a specific audience in order to support analysis, communication, and understanding. Models may also be used to confirm knowledge, identify information gaps that the business analyst may have, and identify duplicate information. Business analysts choose from one or more of the following modeling formats. One is matrix. A matrix is used when the business analyst is modeling a requirement or set of requirements that have a complex but uniform structure, which can be broken down into elements that apply to every entry in the table. The next one is diagrams. A diagram is a visual, often pictorial representation of a requirement or a set of requirements. A diagram is especially useful to depict complexity in a way that would be difficult to do with words. Using one or more of the model formats, business analysts determine specific categories and specific models within categories to be used. Model categories can include people and roles. Models represent organizations, groups of people, roles, and their relationship within an enterprise and to a solution. Techniques used to represent people and their roles include organizational modeling, roles and permissions, matrix and stakeholder list, map or personas. The rationale. Models represent the why of a change. Techniques used to represent the rationale include decision modeling, scope modeling, business model canvas, root cause analysis, and business rules analysis. Activity flow. Models represent a sequence of actions, events, or a course that may be taken. Techniques used to represent activity flows include process modeling, use cases, scenarios, and user stories. Capability. Models focus on features or functions of an enterprise or a solution. Techniques used to represent capabilities include business capability analysis, functional decomposition, and prototyping. Data and information. Models represent the characteristics and exchange of information within an enterprise or a solution. Techniques used to represent data and information include data dictionary, data flow diagrams, data modeling, glossary, state modeling, and interface analysis. The next element in this task is to analyze requirements. Business analysis information is decomposed into components to further examine for anything that must change to meet the business need, anything that should stay the same to meet the business need, missing components, unnecessary components, and any constraints or assumptions that impact the components. The level of decomposition required and the level of detail to be specified varies depending on the knowledge and understanding of the stakeholders, the potential for misunderstanding or miscommunication, organizational standards, and contractual or regulatory obligations, among other factors. Represent requirements and attributes. Business analysts identify information for requirements and their attributes as part of the elicitation results. And the last element is implement the appropriate levels of the abstraction. This goes down to the breadth and the depth of the requirement. Some of the guidelines and tools that are used here are modeling notation standards, modeling tools, requirements architecture, requirements lifecycle management tools, and solution scope. There are many tools that are used in here. I'm not going to go through each and every one of these. You want to reference the BABOK guide to kind of get a detailed view. But just a high level, you can use things like business capability analysis, data dictionary, glossary, non-functional requirements analysis, decision modeling, and other tools that are specified. Now, in this task, any stakeholder is involved. So primarily, the business analyst would be the key person here that does the specifying and modeling of requirements, but she would pull in or he would pull in whomever he may need or she may need for it to do or to process this task. So before we move to the next episode, just wanted to look at this task from the eyes of Amanda. And remember, Amanda is our business analyst who has been hired to move a pizza restaurant from a brick and mortar store to an online store. So in this case, she's already elicited her requirements, gathered her requirements, and she is looking forward to specifying and modeling the requirements. The reason why she's doing this is so that she can have a useful representation of those requirements. She's able to analyze, synthesize, and refine those elicitation results, and so that she can use that to understand gaps, as well as to present the requirements. That being said, some of the elements that she uses is matrix. So she uses a simple Excel spreadsheet to break down or to model those requirements, make sure that they're represented correctly. She uses a data flow diagram to understand how the flow of the data would work in terms of moving this online. So she uses tools like the activity diagram, the entity relationship diagram to represent the back end. Some of the model categories that she uses are peoples and roles, the why, the rationale behind it, the activity flow. She uses activity diagrams, so she uses this category, the capability. So she tries to represent the capabilities of the business that impact the requirements, as well as the data information, meaning she tries to understand, hey, what is the data flow of this effort. So then she represents requirements and attributes by identifying information for requirements and their attributes as part of the elicitation results. And she knows the stakeholders, knowing her audience, they like a lot of detail. So she makes or documents her requirements in a lot of detail. Some of the guidelines and tools that she references are the requirements lifecycle management tools, solution scope, the requirements architecture, where the requirements and interrelationships amongst them can be used to ensure models are complete and consistent. Some of the techniques I mentioned earlier that she used is the data modeling, data flow diagram, data dictionary. She builds a glossary as well, just so that there's clarity in how they're going to do the work. And in this case, she is doing the work on her own, but she pulls in the business SME as well as maybe the implementation SME to understand a little bit more of the design, the technical design, as well as validate a couple of things as she's mapping out and specifying and modeling requirements. So this ends this task of specifying and modeling requirements. I will continue to go through the rest of the chapter in the next few episodes. If you do find value in these episodes, please do consider subscribing. Please do consider visiting the website at beknowledgeshare.com, as well as our Facebook group. The link has been provided below. Until next time, see you then.